How do you set up your digital music marketing for success? Today, I'm going to walk you through how to structure a Facebook ads campaign to give you the best chances at getting the best result. What is up, everyone? My name is Kyle, and I'm the founder of Kyle the Ally. I help artists use digital marketing tools such as Facebook ads to promote their music on Spotify. In today's video, we're going to be talking about how the structure of your Facebook ad campaign can literally write the recipe for success. This video is going to be the last video in what has turned out to be a 4-part mini-series. So previously, I made 3 videos that describe the elements or ingredients that you need to make a successful campaign. The first was talking about how to make awesome ad creative that'll stand out on crowded social media. The second was how to write ad copy that will sell your music without sounding too salesy. And the third was how to choose audiences that will give you the best engagement on your music. And today's video is going to tell you how to take all 3 of those ingredients and best put them together in a recipe that will maximize your chances of success. And if you haven't seen any of those 3 previous videos, I'll put cards up here in the video so you can go back and watch them at your own leisure. They really act as modules, and all 4 of these videos fit together like individual modules. The motivating idea behind the campaign structure I'm about to show you is that every choice you make when you're marketing your music, or doing any kind of marketing for that matter, any choice you make is taking a risk. And I hope I get to talk about risk in more detail in a future video. But basically what I mean is, if you have, let's say, 5 different choices of ad creative, you have 5 different choices of ad copy, and you have 5 choices of audience, you have potentially 125 different ways you can configure your ad, but you don't know exactly which of those 125 possible combinations is the one that's going to get you the best result. Which ad creative, which ad copy, and which audience is going to resonate well with your prospective listeners and give you the best engagement, the best number of streams on your song on Spotify. The key point here is you don't know which combination of the ad will resonate the best with your prospective listeners, and neither do I, and neither does anybody. You'll never know until you start running your ads and collecting data which combination is working the best. And if you had infinite money and infinite time, maybe running every single version of the ad would be an okay strategy, but that's not realistic for anybody because we have finite budgets and finite timelines, and we want to get the best result as quickly as possible. There's a way that you can structure your Facebook ad campaign that will allow you to test all of the different combinations and get to the best solution quickly while minimizing the amount of money and the amount of time that you're going to waste. Luckily, the Ads Manager platform actually lets you organize the campaign in a way that Facebook can explore all of the possible options that you've given them, all of the videos, all of the ad copies, and all of the audiences, and give it the chance to mix and match and test on its own, and then start prioritizing the ones that are working the best. The whole idea is that you're going to start with every possible combination that you can generate, which is more than you need, because in the end you only need one winning combination of the ad to get a good result. But you start with more than you need, you collect data for the first couple of days, and then you slowly down select your options. So you turn off the options that are doing less well to prioritize the ones that are performing better. Towards the end of your campaign, you should have just one or maybe a handful of different ad combinations that are giving you the best results, and you've already turned off all of the rest. So how do we accomplish this on Ads Manager? I'll show you with an example I used for my own song, Optical Tango is a Dance for Two. Alright, so I have the Facebook Ads Manager open. This is the account that I use for my artist, Lenseye. So all of the music that I publish under that artist name, I use this ad account to promote that music when it releases. And I haven't really promoted a project in a while. My most recent song, Optical Tango is a Dance for Two, came out like over a year ago. But I still think it's a good example for how you should approach structuring your campaign. So in general, a good rule of thumb is 1 campaign equals 1 piece of music. So you could use 1 campaign to promote a single, 1 campaign to promote an EP, 1 campaign to promote an album, but the key is 1 for 1 piece of music. And in this case, Optical Tango was a single, so I had 1 campaign, and you could tell I went through different versions of the campaign over the months. So let's break open this campaign that I made for Optical Tango, and I'm going to show you the July 2022 version of the campaign that I ran. So I'm going to go ahead and just select this campaign here, and then we're going to move into the ad sets tab. And you can see that inside of one campaign, I have multiple ad sets that are running in parallel. You could ignore this Weezer dynamic creative one because that was an experiment that I ended up running later. But aside from this first one, all of the rest of these 7 ad sets were set up before the campaign launched, and they started running all at the same time at the beginning of the campaign. They were running in parallel, and that's key. You might recognize each of these labels on the ad sets from the audiences video that I published previously. And that's because, as I discussed in that video, you want to set up multiple ad sets, and each ad set corresponds to one audience. And the audiences are split up by different music interests. So in this case, I have one ad set that promotes my music to fans of Weezer, one that shows it to fans of Paramore and Avril Lavigne, etc., etc. And like I said, the exact details of how these audiences are set up are explained in that other video. But the key here is that we start with more ad sets than we need, ideally anywhere between 4 to 8 individual ad sets representing 4 to 8 different audiences, and they'll run in parallel from the beginning. You'll get some information about how each of them are doing day by day, and you could start turning off the ones that are performing less well in favor of the ones that are performing better. And that's how I ended up with the Fall Out Boy ad set kind of being the last one that I was running, because that one was getting better results than the rest of them as the campaign was going. So right off the bat, you can see we're exploring 7 different audience opportunities if you're using 7 ad sets from the get-go. Now, what do we do with our ad creatives and our ad copy? So I'll click into one of these ad sets here. So I'll choose the Fall Out Boy one. And then we go into the third tab, which is ads for one ad set. And you can see every version of ad creative that I made. In this case, it was 9 different ad creatives, which is a combination of the some edits from the music video as well as some animations on my album artwork. All 9 of these ad creatives are duplicated, and they're the same within every ad set. So even if we go into the fun ad set, for example, you can see the same 9 videos are in there. So now we went from having 7 different audiences times 9 different ad creative options. Okay, let's see, 7 times 9 is 63. I always joke that I went to engineering school just to be terrible at mental math. And so that explains the audiences and explains the ad creatives. And then if we click into one of these ads here, so I'm just going to choose the one that's from the ending. So you can see a version of my ad which has this specific music video, and it has one of the captions I thought of, which was, if you like Fall Out Boy, this song is for you. And then if we want to go to another one, let's say like chorus 2, what if Fall Out Boy made a song like Thanks for the Memories again? Because this campaign was already finished, it's actually not letting me open up and show you all of the options that I used to set up this ad. So what I'm going to do is I'll do something sneaky just for the sake of demonstration. I'll go ahead and just duplicate one of these ad sets, so then we can break it open and look at the options inside. So what do you do with those ad copies, those different captions that I said you should generate? So you should have up to 5 different versions of your ad copy. You can see that the primary text field gives you up to 5 different options that you can test in parallel. So in this case, this ad just had one option, emo is back, tell your friends. And what I used to do is I would just think of my 5 different ideas and then sprinkle them one at a time across the different videos. Now what you can do, which I've learned since running this campaign almost a year and a half ago, is you could click this button, add text option, and you can add another one. And so what I would do is then I would copy and paste the same traditional call to action and change the top line. So instead of emo is back, I could say something like, this song is for people who like Fall Out Boy. It'd be awesome if I could spell correctly. And you can refer to the video that I made that's exclusively about ad copy to get some more ideas on how to generate these. But the awesome thing here is you can click this add text option enough times to get up to 5 different options that you can run on parallel on one ad creative. So for this one ad creative, so like let's say, I'm not going to type more, but I'll say like this is option C. So let's say you had another idea there. So this is option D and this is option E. I really encourage you to try up to 5 different ad creatives and really max out the opportunities it's giving you. And so now we took the 7 different audiences times 9 different ad creatives times 5 different ad copy options, and that gives us a total of 315 different combinations that we're exploring for this one ad campaign. And like I said before, we don't know exactly which piece of ad copy, which ad creative, which audience is going to perform the best. But if we give Facebook all of the options, it can try mixing and matching on its own. And the ads manager is actually really intelligent about collecting data, figuring out which ones are doing well and which ones are doing poorly pretty early on, and prioritizing the better ones and shutting off the ones that are just not cutting the mustard. And so this is how you can use the intelligence of that platform to your advantage. At the end of the day, you're mitigating the risk that you chose the wrong combination because you tested all of them and let Facebook do the legwork for you. If you're still here and enjoying this video, I'd like to ask you to like the video and subscribe to my channel. It's free, it costs you nothing, I promise, but it's something that's very helpful to me, especially as I'm just starting out this channel. Thanks so much, guys. So there's one more thing I want to show you while I'm still in here, and that is the dynamic creative feature. So I think it was sometime last year, Facebook, or really I should say Meta, rolled out the dynamic creative feature, which is basically an easier and more simple way of structuring your ad sets that allows you to do essentially what we're doing here manually, but to do it automatically, where you just choose the dynamic creative option, you make one ad where you feed in all X number of your videos, in this case 9, and then all 5, let's say, versions of your ad copy, and you're giving the ads manager permission to mix and match them at will, rather than just setting it up manually like we do. And I'll say I don't really like this feature. I've tried it kind of side by side with my manual method of setting things up, with the obvious caveat that I haven't done a rigorous experiment, like a true A/B test with the separation of variables, to determine which one performs better. But at least of what I've observed, doing kind of fuzzy tests where I'm running them side by side, the dynamic creative option underperforms relative to just setting up things manually like I'm used to. So I'll show you kind of what it looks like anyway. So you can go into the ad set, enable dynamic creative, and you can see my ads, which were previously 9 individual ads, have just collapsed into one option. But you can go into this ad creative section and you could select all of the videos that you want to use. So I'm just gonna, whatever example is just gonna, control click a whole bunch of them. I'm not actually going to publish this, it's just for demonstration. And so you see we've loaded up a whole bunch of different versions of the video, and we've given permission to Facebook to test them in parallel side by side. And then you could do the same thing with the ad captions like I was showing you before. So you go into primary text, and then you could, let's say, have option B, this is option C, so on and so forth. You can do up to 5 different text options and up to 10 different video creatives. So you can possibly be exploring 50 different combinations inside of just one ad set. Like I said, on paper, this is awesome. It's just an easier way to automatically do what we were setting up manually before. But in my experience, I feel like the results underperform the manual method of setting this up, and that's why I still set up things manually when I'm promoting my own music, when I'm promoting music for any of my clients, and that's what I recommend you guys do, at least at the time of this recording. Who knows, it could change in the future, and I recommend you test it out for yourself rather than just taking the opinion of some stranger on the internet at face value. Oh, and by the way, if you're interested in hiring me to help out with your next project, whether that be promoting a digital release on Spotify or selling tickets to play shows in physical venues, you can reach out to me via my website, kyletheally.com. Link is in the description below. Fill out the quick intro questionnaire on my website, and if it looks like working together is a good fit, I'll reach out to you via email with some next steps. Looking forward to working with you guys. Now that you've made it to the end of the video, I hope you're well prepared to give yourself the best chances at success with your digital marketing. If you enjoyed this video, I'd appreciate if you let me know in a comment below. Be sure to subscribe so you can be here for the next tutorial. Thanks so much for watching, everyone, and I hope to see you next time. Later.